because, so I do slam poetry, which is a competitive poetry event. And it's timed, and who here has been to a slam? Make some noise. All right, so you all know how it is. You like get up and people are really serious, and then you're timed as soon as it starts. So I just got back from the Women of the World Poetry Slam, which is this event that's been around for 6 years. It was created because these national slams were happening and women weren't necessarily being recognized for their work. Women being emotional on stage was not getting the same love that men being emotional on stage was, turns out. So they created this space. 72 women from across the country came to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Next year it's in Brooklyn. So if you can get up to Brooklyn for that weekend, check it out. It's I think you can follow them on Twitter at Whelps 2015. Anyway, so I had written this poem and it was recorded by Button Poetry, who puts out a lot of these poetry videos. And now it has like 10,000 views, which isn't viral necessarily, but it's crazy, poets out there, you know, to write something that 10,000 people have seen. Like, it's kind of weird. Okay, so I'd written this poem, Anne Frank, Holocaust, right, we all know who Anne Frank is. So Justin Bieber, that guy, had visited the home that's now a museum where she was in the attic, in the Netherlands, and he had written in the guest book, Anne was a really great girl, I hope she would have been a believer, which is like his name for his, it's just a whole lot of wrong. So I wrote this poem, yeah, a whole lot of wrong. Anne Frank offers Justin Bieber a lesson in humility. If there is a God worth praying to that lives in someone's skin, I have already found her inside of me. Don't need your wind-up toy to pray to. I am the girl inside the music box. The only ballerina who pulled a dance from her own captivity and painted the walls with it. Justin, don't enter my home and demand it care about your music. I've already plucked a tune from the gaping wounds in each crack in the paint here. Sang a lullaby to the sound of the boots pacing outside. One night before bed, I gathered all the air inside my lungs. When I woke up still breathing, I named this moment my symphony. So great girl might be legacy enough for you. But nobody wanted this girl sitting next to them in school. Nobody wanted to write about what it's like to become girl. Nobody wanted to keep me quiet in their cupboards. Nobody wanted my hands to hold their children's hands. But now everybody wants a piece of my bones. Thank you. Yeah. It's bad to start with the leggings poems because, like, it's pretty much downhill emotionally from there. Sorry. But this one's somewhat on a high note. So I work with kids in all facets of my life. I work at Safe Shores. I work very closely with the DCU Slam team, who are also the national champions. So let's just take a moment for what it is to be a poet in 2015 in DC. Yeah, DCU Slam holding down the championship, Beltway Poetry Slam holding down the championship, so this is the place to be right now. And we are hosting the individual World Poetry Slam in October, so awesome place to be. And I coach the Madeira Schools teams. So there is a regional competition called Louder Than a Bomb. It starts this week. You can check it out, LTAP DMV. Schools from all over the area. You know, this school's in McLean, Virginia, schools in Southeast. I think it's 52 schools competing. And so check it out, it's really amazing. My girls are performing this Wednesday at the Busboys in Hyattsville at 6:30. So at some point when I started teaching them, which was 4 years ago, I wanted to write a poem for them. They're all smarter and braver than I ever was at 16, but I kind of was like, what would I say to myself when I was that age? So this is it. Advice to my 16-year-old self. Stand in front of a mirror and study every inch of your naked body until you have trained yourself not to flinch. You will never be flawless, so stop wasting your money. Memorize every freckle instead. You will not outgrow them, but some days they will be your only constant. Do not Photoshop them out. Instead, listen to all those voices that call you monument. When they say beautiful, you'll think, not smart enough. When they say smart, you'll think fat. When they say success, you know you will have to redo everything, so learn to obsess loudly and often about all the things you think make you weird, because they actually make you interesting. So build yourself a library. Fill it with all your old journals. Check one out to that first person who shamed you for the body you live in. Now go live in it. Learn to use your words, because you were born with fire for a tongue, but you will spend so many years believing it is ash, snuffing out sentences for the fear that would beset you if you could just let them free. You will say yes too often. Break that habit early. But know that the 3 hardest words to fall out of your mouth will not be "I love you," but "I need help." It will be years before you find the right person for either, and often you will confuse the two. So don't try to find yourself in the hands of anyone else. Stop attempting to rescue that boy from the fire. Stop crumpling up and starting over. Stop thinking of yourself as a rough draft. One day, you will wake up surrounded by people who make this planet easier to swallow. They will call you friend, family, community, and I pray you can find it in yourself to believe that this is not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Can I do something off my phone? Yeah. Is that okay? So I had written a poem. It's Mother's Day in a couple weeks. Heads up, it's Mother's Day in a couple weeks. My mom's always like, "What are we doing?" I was like, "Oh no, how did I forget this?" So I had written this poem about my mother, who is a wonderful lady, and I just feel it's like on my heart right now, and I would like to do that if that works for everybody. Okay, cool. All right. When I was a little girl, I would tuck my 2 whole fists into the cradle of my mother's palms, call it my favorite room, bury every one of my secrets in their delicate walls. I know the burden she carries under her fingernails. Like all things in my mother's life, her hands are a sacrifice to everyone else's needs. An army of chapped and calloused, bloody and battered, despite the fight left in them, I have always marveled at these hands of hers. Each crack, each knuckle, its own majestic story, the blue-collar youth, the father gone too soon, the love that came quick and unconditional, now adorning her finger for 42 years, the children and the empty pockets and the hospital bed that almost undid all of it, tucked into every tendon. Each long finger, an elegant ballerina, veins that dazzle the skin in their soft purple dance. Her hands say always, say hold, say provide, but never say too much. Mom, teach me how to have hands like those, how to give and give and give and never want to curl them back into a fist. I've been stretching mine as much as I can lately, trying to tighten my grip on the things I love most. I'm afraid mine are not tough like yours. Teach me how to make them tough like yours, because now I watch your hands cradling your morning coffee like a newborn child, how the wind has whispered the skin open, how they are far riper peaches than they once were. And I know it won't be long before you will need to rely on the strength in my hands. I hope you can find the sturdy walls inside them. I hope you can call them your home. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, so not. Okay, I'll just do this like happy.